In the afterglow of a Black Friday that reshaped the contours of the NFC playoff landscape, the Chicago Bears delivered their most emphatic performance in years, a 24-5 deconstruction of the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles that did more than extend Chicago's win streak to 5. It forced the league to reconsider everything it thought it knew about the direction of a franchise that has spent the better part of a decade oscillating between rebuilding phases and failed offensive experiments. This win, forged in one of the NFL's most hostile environments, elevated Chicago to 9-3 and into the NFC's number 2 seed as December begins, a position that would have seemed fantastical 3 months ago when national projections slotted the Bears as a fringe wildcard hopeful at best. Yet here they stand, operating with a clarity of purpose and a physicality of identity that has revived Chicago's long-dormant football ethos while simultaneously modernizing it under head coach Ben Johnson's forward-leaning scheme. The immediate question naturally is whether the Bears belong in the Super Bowl conversation. While most insiders would still situate the Rams on a separate tier as the conference's current measuring stick, Chicago has risen decisively into the NFC's second echelon, a group that includes Seattle, Green Bay, Dallas, and, despite the recent demolition, the Eagles. What distinguishes Chicago from the clutter of talented but inconsistent contenders is not only its record, now bolstered by a flawless 5-0 November, but the unmistakable trajectory of a team that looks stronger, more synchronized, and more self-assured with each passing week. And at the center of that rise is a rushing attack that has quietly become the league's most fearsome, a two-headed force featuring rookie revelation Kyle Monangai and the electrifying DeAndre Swift, whose combined output since the bye week, more than 1,300 yards on nearly 5 yards per carry, has transformed Chicago's offense from a developing unit into a punishing, clock-controlling machine. Their performance in Philadelphia was not merely productive, it was defining. Against a Vic Fangio defense known for discipline and gap soundness, the Bears ran for 255 yards and 2 touchdowns, battering the Eagles into submission in a manner reminiscent of the great Chicago teams of the mid-2000s, when physical domination was a weekly expectation rather than an occasional surprise. This resurgence owes equally to a reconstructed offensive line that has coalesced faster than even optimistic observers predicted. Jonah Jackson, acquired in one of general manager Ryan Pohl's most astute trades, has been a tone-setter at guard. Joe Thuney, another addition, has provided steadiness and championship-caliber discipline. Drew Dahlman's arrival at center has given the unit rare cohesion, while Darnell Wright's development and Ozzie Trapillo's emergence have given Chicago consistent edges to seal lanes and spring explosive runs. Together, they have formed the backbone of an offense built not on flash or desperation, but on control, leverage, and attrition, a system designed to travel well into December and thrive in the postseason, where games are often decided at the line of scrimmage rather than through aerial theatrics. This foundation has relieved rookie quarterback Caleb Williams of the unrealistic burden often placed on young number 1 picks. Instead of being asked to rescue a flawed roster, Williams is tasked with complementing a functional, well-coached team, making timely throws, capitalizing on play-action opportunities, and protecting possessions. While Williams' accuracy remains inconsistent, his 17 for 36 outing in Philadelphia revealed familiar issues with footwork and overexertion. His poise in high-leverage situations continues to impress. He rebounded from a third-quarter interception, created in part by Chicago's brief deviation from its run-first philosophy, by driving the team downfield and delivering critical throws, including a fourth-down laser to Coulson Loveland and a jaw-dropping 28-yard touchdown to KT while rolling left, a play that encapsulated why Chicago drafted him first overall. Williams is not yet a polished franchise star, but he is undeniably a winning quarterback, one capable of absorbing mistakes without unraveling, capable of delivering when the moment calls for him, and capable of elevating his play when the game shifts into its decisive phases. What makes Chicago's surge all the more compelling is its psychological dimension. For the first time in years, the Bears project an aura of self-belief, not the fragile, premature confidence that crumbles at the first sign of adversity, but a steady, rising conviction forged through physical dominance and repeated validation. That shift arrives at a pivotal moment as Chicago enters a 2-game in 3 weeks gauntlet against their oldest rival, the Green Bay Packers, a stretch that will influence the division race, the conference seeding, and the broader narrative of the Bears' legitimacy. A win at Lambeau Field next Sunday, with first place in the division on the line and the potential for Chicago to seize the NFC's top seed depending on the Rams' outcome, would represent both a symbolic and strategic breakthrough for a franchise long haunted by failures in Wisconsin. Across social media, the buildup has already begun, fueled by Bears fans who have waited years for a team worthy of genuine rivalry stakes, and by Packers fans grappling with the reality that Chicago's resurgence is not a mirage, but a structural phenomenon built on sustainable pillars rather than fluky late-game swings. Even the commercial ecosystem has shifted alongside Chicago's rise. The team's Black Friday Cardiac Bear merchandise sales surged after the win, reflecting not only fan enthusiasm but a renewed sense of identity, while sponsors like Cash App have capitalized on the team's growing national profile by promoting financial security features targeted at the heightened activity around ticket sales, travel, and holiday spending. Through all of this, the Bears themselves remain disciplined in tone, framing their transformation not as a completed arc but as an ongoing process driven by fundamentals: run the ball, own the line, protect the quarterback, eliminate self-inflicted wounds, and trust the coaching staff's structural vision. And it is that vision, more than any single player's performance, that has carried Chicago from offseason uncertainty to December contention. Whether the Bears ultimately evolve from a rising threat into a full-fledged Super Bowl contender will depend on their ability to sustain this identity through the cold, bruising weeks ahead, to navigate the emotional turbulence of rivalry games, and to support their young quarterback as he learns to command the offense with greater consistency. But for now, the Bears stand as one of the league's most fascinating ascents, a team with muscle, command, creativity, and purpose, a team that wins not by accident but by design, a team that has revived its city's football heartbeat and reinserted itself into the national conversation as a force capable of reshaping the NFC hierarchy. Whether this story leads to February glory remains months away from being answered, but as December dawns, the Chicago Bears are not merely relevant, they are dangerous, ascending, and very much part of the league's playoff equation, setting the stage for a final stretch that could alter the direction of the franchise for years to come.